Hey, what's up, guys? Who do we have here?
Reese Uhas.
And what did you do today?
We played a 3v3 at Unmatched Gaming in Reading, PA. Christian Raina's store, go to the store. We got second place in the finals with our team. I went undefeated all day pretty much. I just didn't lose. And I played Paleo-Tearlament, as did my brother behind the camera. We basically played similar lists with a few differences.
You don't say. Well, let's get right into it. What do we got here?
So three of all the girls. Um, there's the best one. There's a second the best one. Level 2 Aqua. There's not really much you need to say about this. This card just kind of has a lot of game breaking interactions. Should probably go to 1 at some point. It's just too good. And 3 of this because you want to hit it. And if you do open it, and another monster, it's still just like combo. But you just want all your fusion spells whenever you hit them with stuff. The 2 Rhino, you can cut it to 1 in theory, but in practice, there's too many times where he comes back from grave and then you have to fuse with him and he gets banished, and then it's like rough. But it is a cuttable to 1 card because you rather see more like these all the time. I'd rather see this before him, like almost like a lot of times because of the cards that I want to mill. Like, yeah, it's a guaranteed Kit Kalos, but like people are more likely to stop this if you normal it than like this because this is chance, and if they don't know you're on Paleos, then you're just gonna you're just gonna get value off of it because there are no like real bad mills in this deck. There's probably like 5 cards that don't have like a grave effect, which we'll get into at a point. The other 2 monsters, 2 backjack. I was playing 3, but it just drawing it just kind of feels bad, and we cut Link Rebo. So like drawing it's even worse because you can't like link it off or link Rebo. But 2, because on your opponent's turn you're probably gonna hit it with like mills, like Kikalos mill, Needlebug mill. It is also really cool when you go second and you hit it off of a Phoenix. It happened to me like once today, and it's just, it's a very powerful feeling because you're gonna just be able to use whatever trap you want pretty much turn 0, and then they're gonna have to waste hand traps on your play before you even draw for turn. But that's just normal Phoenix interactions.
Right.
Spells,
Understandable.
traps then. This is a stack of purple cards. The deck is purple cards. 3 of the best one, the best current one. You'll see when we go through it, there's a lot of traps that you send off of this. A lot of times it's also just a starter because you can just send Celiac, search for a starter, search for a Phoenix, search for Rhino, search for Merly, search for whatever. It's just the most versatile. I feel super comfortable anytime I open this in my opening hand and it goes through. And people won't usually ash this because either they don't know what's like coming or they just don't like care if you're sending off this, which is fine because you're going to be surviving turns because of it. 3 of the other best one. Just there's not really much to say about it. It's just very good. Banish Paralinos, banish Mystic Minds, trigger your Tears, trigger your Celiac if you discard for it. Yeah, it's just kind of standard. I mean, regular like hand trap tier plays it for the same reason. 2 Canadia. I still think it's good. It's also just another Paleo name, but I don't think it's good enough to play at 3 because booking stuff isn't like that crazy. It can kind of go hard against like Runic Sprite when you book their Huggin and the EMZ, but it's honestly just kind of here just to have another Paleo name. If I open it, it gets there sometimes, but it's still pretty solid. I usually take it out going second because it just doesn't do much, but I definitely wouldn't cut this. I like it a lot. 2 Olonoids. I thought about playing 3. I don't think you really need 3. I think 2 is fine. Maybe one day he'll become super rare if Kevin Tuart allows us to have it as a super rare. I think we're being trolled at this point, so it's very sad, but a lot of interactions with it. It's just hitting the field spell is very powerful. Hitting like Fatefuls is very powerful, and then of course hitting Mystic Minds. The deck like plays like a lot of like kind of outs Mystic Minds. I think I have like six outs, 5 like normal outs, 1 like kind of out. I guess. I mean, you'll see when we get to it.
You heard him. Super rare.
Great card. Another great card, Needlebug. It's just Kit Kalos. Like, if you get stopped in your turn, you set this. It's just, I mean, there's so many like just insane things to mill. The tiers, obviously, other traps, other Paleos, cards we're gonna get into now. Lost Wind, just great card. I technically played 4. I was trying this out today. My roommate Joel told me to play it, or at least test it before like knocking it. It wasn't bad. It came up like once today because I saw it, but it's kind of just there if you mill it on something and then on their turn you can set it again. It's another copy of this, but it's like infinite resources. It didn't come up to like set it from grave and use it a bunch of turns because normally people kind of scooped because they realized that they were very far behind versus the deck, which once you kind of get going, you're pretty far ahead if you like set up a grave of like 15 like cards, and then you kind of just have like stuff in circulation. But in theory, it's kind of nice. This card just is crazy. This card's very good. Yeah, there's like not much to say about it because it's just as good as it is. But I always feel comfortable milling this, opening it. It's just an extra layer of protection, and it basically can get you 2 Paleos from grave. 3 of the fun card.
You're gonna have to explain this to a lot of people still even.
Yeah, I know it's been seeing more play now, even like prior like this year, like when Dragon Link was played, like when against Dragon Link, Paleo would like play this. I think like online at times. This card says we're playing for a long time. This card says we're going to like turn 5, turn 6, turn whatever. There's so many interactions with it where like you just prevent your opponent from attacking flat out. So I mean, for the people that don't know, you banish it in grave, target a monster you control. Your opponent can only attack that monster that turn. So like if that monster leaves, they can't attack at all. The on-field effect is just irrelevant. It doubles defense. I mean, you can get kind of cheeky and like damage step doubling like a Kaleido Heart or something.
Did that come up today at all?
Came up for me once, but like it didn't matter. I only reason I didn't do it like before damage because I didn't want him to get a redeclare when I brought a Paleo back. So I was just like, yeah, I'll just make him take like a free 3,000 or something. It's not terrible, but the great effect is why you play it. So the reason why like Morella makes me feel like comfortable is just because you can just dump this if you like don't have it or if you haven't milled it, because it's guaranteeing that you're not dying that turn. The only like counterplay really to it is like they chain like super poly to something, but you can like play in a way where like you're not gonna get super poly. Like if you start on just Toad, you can like use this in the standby or draw phase, target the Toad. You're gonna negate something they're not gonna be able to attack, and you're just kind of gonna go in a grind. So because they can't attack, you're probably gonna be starting your turn with like 3 Paleo monsters on board, since they're unaffected by monster effects and they can't die by battle because of this. You're just gonna be able to like play a lot on your turn. And then if you have another one, like if you mill like 2 of these early, the game's just gonna go for a while because you're gonna be surviving so many turns. And by the time your opponent is gonna, they're not even gonna really have a board at that point because you're gonna be picking it apart like Paleos, Toads, just tier stuff, normal things. And by the time you're all out of these, you're in full control of the game. You're either able to OTK or you're able just to make it that they can't come back, and then you just win the next turn. So yeah, great card. Definitely have to play 3. Going second, I side 1 out because it's more like dead to draw. But going first, I always play 3 because I always want to hit it. I always want to mill it. I always want to send it. If I don't have it, it just makes you. It's just such a like safe card to like rely on. Other card I play 3 of, Breakthrough Skill. I only have the 2 ultis because I was originally playing 2, but because the Thunder matchup is kind of miserable, you have to play 3 to like stop it because Lost Wind can only target special summon monsters. Same with Titanicider. Actually, Titanicider can only target extra deck monsters special from the extra deck, so you kind of need this versus Flunder. Plus, Grave Effect on your turn is very good. A lot of times today, people would like do stuff on my turn. I'd just be like, all right, chain the Breakthrough, make like the effect that they had like irrelevant, and then they're like, okay, yeah, we'll go next. So it comes up very versatile, very good. Definitely wouldn't cut it, and I would continue to play 3 because it just has a lot of interactions that make it like really good, especially against like floodgate monsters. Like someone's like a Winda or something, you can start your turn like doing this. Draw phase, like when they have IP Elf, you can be like, all right, I'll negate Elf, and then afterwards you can use something else to negate the IP. Very good card, very solid.
That off of Havness sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Going second, if you hit this off Havness, being able to just start with like an imperm of sorts is very good. 2 Solic, could be 3. I didn't actually miss the 3rd today. I probably will play 3 at some point, but 2 is like nice. Free search for if you mill it. You send it with Morella to search a Tearlament to start your turn if like you didn't open a tier and you're surviving until next turn. You can just end phase send this, search like Merrily, search Rhino Heart. It's just a good card. There's not too much to explain to do. Last card, Irate Draw, clutch card. I like struggled to find this before tournament because I didn't want to have to look through like all my bulk cards, but the card's really good. I mean, regular tiers playing it, I think it's like kind of cracked in this because you just mill so many cards and it's a trap. On their turn, you can just trigger your tiers when it's engraved, pop it, get an effect. I actually got Tikabooed one turn, and I had this set previously, so I was just able to pop both my Paleos, draw 2 cards, or sorry, draw 1 card because you draw 1 for each 2 destroyed. So I drew a card. I drew the out to the Tikaboo, but I didn't even need to use it, and then I was just able to like summon Rhinoheart and play under the Tikaboo. So I definitely wouldn't cut this. I think it's final one. You don't have to play more. Like, this card is just pretty solid. We'll go to the extra next. Extra 2 Kalos. I was playing 1 for the longest time, but I think you have to kind of play 2, especially post Darkwing when Lulu Kalos comes out. It's kind of just, you kind of just need to play the 2. 1 Kaleido, card's crazy. That's like part of the OTK. If you like end on like some Paleos and then you're able to make this, I'll like show when I get to the XCs, but it's part of an OTK and it's also just very good. Like, I think you kind of just have to play this card if you're playing Tearlament. It's just too valuable. 1 Garua, 1 Drago, wouldn't play a second, no room. The extra deck is too tight and it's just good. We'll go to XCs. The boy, he escaped another list. Unfortunately, he also escaped another ulti printing that could have been.
Let him know.
Very great card. 1 Opabinia, the red one. Very good. Have to play it. It just does so much. Plus, if you summon attack mode, it makes them think like, oh crap, I'm about to get like Zeus now. Plus, they're about to search, so it just never want to cut it. Also, you can just put it back very often because it's Aqua for Kit Kalos. 1 blue. Not everyone plays this. I think this card's crazy. I summoned it once today, but I would have summoned it more if those games went on longer. Like if my opponents weren't scooping earlier, it would have been summoned. This is also part of the OTK because if they have like a clear board, this is 84. You just attack, use its effect, pop this, bring it back, attack for 3,000. Very versatile and just very good in the grind. There's a lot of times where I'll just start my turn like normaling them early and then making this like right away. It's just very solid. Plus it makes your Zeus get big. 1 Downerd. 1 Zeus, very crazy, would never cut it. I summoned this like a lot today, just from like just doing Paleo things. I mean, always the cool interactions are when you Zeus and you get to keep your Paleo monsters since they're unaffected. Kind of a neat interaction. But I mean, there's not much to say about Zeus. It's Zeus. You're playing Xyz, you're probably playing this. Win con card, kind of have to play that for the mirror. It's just, I mean, you don't need to explain Dweller. Lynx, I played. Elf, there's really no explaining Elf. Card is just kind of poorly designed. 1 IP, 1 Dark. Dark came up like a lot today. This card's kind of nuts. There's just a lot of interactions where like you want to take their tiers to mill. I took a Gigantic and attacked something to make a Zeus because I had like the level 4 and the level 2, so I wasn't able to like make my own Zeus. So I just took their Gigantic, tagged over something, downer, then Zeus, cleared the whole board. And then the last card is a bomb. I think this card's kind of crazy. We went over like before the tournament, a couple days prior. I needed something to like, when I had too many things on board, just kind of link them off to create room. And I didn't want to play bomb anymore because I didn't want to burn my own field up. And this was like a very good thing to just like, oh, I can just make this, sit on it. In a simplified game state, it's just kind of game. I summoned it a couple times today and kind of like Olamenkaris, the blue one. I would have summoned it more if the games went on longer. But people like were smarter today. They knew like when the scoops, they're not like wasting their own time. Because this deck has a decent matchup in time just because of like rising, preventing battle phase as long as you get a little bit of damage in. But yeah, this card's pretty good. I'll definitely keep playing it going forward. Plus, if you like ever like mill well and you end on like the IP Elf, this is kind of just what you make off it, and it's like fine. That's it for the extra. We'll go to the side. Side was just 3 evenly. Kind of side on this last minute. It performed really well today. Yeah, not much to say about it. A lot of tier, a lot of like back rows, random stuff. It's just really good.
You can hit that off backjack too, can't you?
Yeah, I did actually hit this off a backjack on someone like turn 2 or 3. At the end of the battle phase, I just set this and used it right away. It was kind of nice. I got dustered. That's also why this deck doesn't really care about duster too much, just because like backjack and all your cards like float. So if they duster you evenly, it's like sure, whatever. 3 skill drain. This is for Flunder. Flunder's cringe. You need this just to stop all like the cringe monsters. I don't like having to play this card, but if that deck wants to play Floodgates and win off Floodgates, then by God, I'm gonna do it too. 3 of these. This was also, instead of Lava Golem, I kind of had the thought of playing this against Flunder. Pretend to go to like battle phase. Well, not pretend, but say battle phase, even if you don't have evenly. Maybe they'll flip up the trap, summon 3. You can tribute over the barrier statue, the end pen, and like the Mega, or not the Mega Raizo, the Apex with this. That's kind of good. It's also, I think, just kind of better against like the runic sprite and like random sprite stuff now, because people at the tournament were definitely ending on like more than 2 monsters. Uh, so this is just kind of good. I never summoned it because I would like mill it or I just wouldn't open it, but in theory it's like good, and I'd probably still continue to play it at big tournaments going forward. Three of this card, the one of this card, very good. I saw this a lot, especially as like my sixth card, and it's just kind of it went hard like every time I drew it. It did what I needed to do. Um, just going second is just very strong, especially against like Flunder and Shift and Sister. If they shift through you and you're going first, you still want to like see this to stop that. This deck doesn't care about Shifter as much as regular tier, but it still like hurts a lot. So you just want to stop it. You want to stop like important power plays. Last two cards are two one-ofs. This is just for random back row stuff, Mirror and Mystic Mind decks. I had an extra slot, so I was like, yeah, might as well just be Duster. Pank is Pank. Good against pretty much everything. Just solid, so I'll kind of always play this and this. But yeah, that just about does it.
All right.
Deck performed well. I really liked the interactions that like the deck had during the day. Definitely continue to play it going forward. And I guess I'll shout out Ryan, the guy behind the camera who also played the deck with like a couple card differences. Fish for getting us there. My roommate Joel, and then Tyler, Edgar, Christian, obviously for having the best store in PA.
And before we leave, is there anything you would change between main side and extra? Like anything like you would have done differently? Anything you would take out, put back in?
Only thing I'd change is maybe putting in the third Celiac, but honestly, I don't know what I'd take out for it. A lot of the cards are just very solid. I like Backjack at 2. I like Rhino at 2. There's a lot, there's obviously a lot of different lists for it, but me personally, I don't think I'd change a lot from this list. Side deck can change depending on what the meta is and what event you're going to. That can always change, but the main deck's kind of solid.
All right, there we have it. Second place, Paleozoic Tears. Anything else to say?
That's it. Sayonara.